Okay. All right then. YouTube is good. You, okay, it is. All right, cool. Let's do it. Anyway, welcome back to TeamBoydTV live after our 2-week hiatus. I got my boys with me as always. JB, the Raven Shogun. What's up, homie?
What's happening? What's up, Glass?
Hey, I heard you were saying earlier, man, how your fantasy is going to the captain. Anyway, I got my other homie, Glass. This
can you do?
Sports, sports in the building. What's up, man?
What up, fam? What up to all my Twitter hustlers out there? Been a long time, but we back stronger than ever, man. Let's do this.
Yes, we are. Hey, listen, I was telling you off air, man. I had them Cubans for you, man. When I was in Jamaica, I couldn't get them to the States. Couldn't get them to the States.
You need to bring them. Don't tell me about them. Don't tease me like that, bro.
I know. But we got a lot to get into today. We got a lot to get into this week, man. We've been off for 2 weeks. Some stuff done happened. I was so worried about, like, we missed that first week because my computer was acting up and everything. And, you know, all that stuff was happening and whatnot with the benching of Eli Manning and all this and Jimmy Garoppolo starting in San Francisco, all that crazy stuff. But then last week while I was in Jamaica, the bottom fell out of everything. We had suspensions, ejections, firings, dirty play. What's going on? What you pointing at here for? What's going on? You good?
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, suspensions, everything. So we got a lot to talk about tonight, bro. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Glass, what's first on your plate? What you got for us today?
Dude, let's talk about the heavy hitters that's out there that's getting suspended and everything. Okay. You know, of course, after the Monday night game between the Bengals and the Steelers.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing nice. I'm sure we're going to talk about it later, but yeah, that's on my mind right now.
Oh, we're gonna get into that, man. We're going to get into that because that right there had some serious stuff and it had some other things going on, you know. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Shazier, you know, prayers up to him. I think he got the feeling in his lower extremities back there, right?
Yeah, he's getting him back.
Good stuff. JB, what big takeaway you got from the week, man? What's going on?
Just coaches' firings. You know, they needed to blow that thing up in New York. They should have done a long time ago. The benching of Eli Manning.
Yeah.
We missed talking about Talib, 2 Chainz, yes. All that whole situation.
Yes. Oh my God.
and how the Broncos are 3-9 or something like that.
Something like that. 1 and
you know,
12.
Look, I wasn't gonna let that fly go under the rug lightly, especially because that other Bronco fan was saying it's not about us having the same record. Not even close, bro.
Aries Falcon, if you're building. What's up, Aries Falcon? I want to give a special shout out to my man Saints Uptown. He hit me up yesterday. As soon as I put the joint up on Twitter, he was like, "Yo, you better talk about that. You better talk about that Panthers." we go get into all that. We'll talk about the playoff picture and all that. Look. Let's start with the big one. Let's go ahead and kick this off the proper way and get into a proper debate about this. Jerry Reese, general manager of the New York Giants, and the head coach, Ben McAdoo, were released on Monday. JB, you alluded a little bit to it. It was a mess, you know, for the last couple of weeks and everything in New York. They benched Eli Manning a couple weeks ago. Ended his streak of 210 starts, I think it was. And only to fire the coach a couple of days later. Your thoughts, sir?
I just think that the wheels fell off mid-season, and they had a pretty good barometer on what was going on because, you know, everybody was highly favoring the New York Giants to do something special.
Right.
And you can see some of the start. We kind of hinted on it midway through here too, about how the Giants just didn't look interested in winning for McAdoo at all.
Right.
And it turned out to all be true. Yeah. So I mean, the firings is that no surprise. They should have done it sooner.
Yep, I think so too. Actually, this kind of goes back to the year before last, Glass, with the unceremonious departure of one Tom Coughlin for under crazy circumstances, like because they didn't fire him, they didn't renew his contract, they let him leave, they kind of forced him out to put McAdoo in place. It was to me that was the start of it right there for me, Glass. It didn't seem right to me. It seemed a little weird. What's your thoughts, sir?
It was kind of weird, but winning solves problems. And I think they finished last year with 11-5, if I'm mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all everything was good then. But now this season, what they 2-10, if I 2-11, something like that.
Yeah.
Just bring everything out to light. Just like JB said, the players wasn't even balling for him. McAdoo was throwing Eli up under the bus constantly. Mm-hmm. And like I think last week 13. When you bench, I really don't have a problem benching Eli to make a change, but you don't bring in Geno Smith.
Well,
that's right. You bring in the rookie.
Here's what Vernon said. She was upset the whole week because she was like, "Okay, look, you're gonna bench Eli, man. Okay, that's cool. We get it. But first of all, the rookie who we need to be looking at, right?
Exactly.
He wasn't even playing. You know what I'm saying? He was like injured or something, right? So this whole thing was for Geno Smith, and it was for nothing. You broke Eli's, streak. You didn't win the game. Nothing really happened. I mean, it was for nothing. And then you end up getting fired for it.
Well, that's probably was a FU Eli. They started you. I mean, because if I'm not mistaken, that is the first time in New York Giants franchise history a non-white quarterback was there. So you had that. You had his consecutive start streak broken, and you got benched for a one Geno Smith instead of seeing what you got out of a draft pick or what have you acquired the new guy. So it was a slap in his face. And I saw Eli's interview, and he was pretty choked up about it. So it was serious.
He was, man. So that brings me to this question because I was talking to Vernon, and this is what I told her. I said, and this was before the firings. I was like, the general manager and the head coach will probably be out of here, but Eli will probably stick around. But after this, after intentionally breaking his streak for nothing, right? And then these guys ain't even there no more, and you do it for Geno Smith out of all people. I don't think he's gonna want to stay. I think he gonna ask to go somewhere else. What y'all think?
Oh, and I think I'm sorry, Glass. I just think the mountains they've been moved. The two very people that it would cost him the season and he didn't like, they're out. So he good to go. And Gruden saying the only way he'll coach in New York if Eli stayed.
Right.
So he got some good stuff coming out of that.
If I'm Eli Glass, after what they've done to me, I know 14 years is a long time. His girls they don't know no other place. He been there for a long time. He's ingrained into that whole entire thing. But after that, though, man, I'm chucking up the deuces if I'm Eli. I don't know how you feel about it.
Man, I hear what you're saying. I think first Eli needs to sit back, get himself together, wait to see who they're gonna bring in as GM and as coach, and then figure out what they're gonna do after that. I'm sure everybody's saying Jacksonville,
right.
Back with
Coughlin.
I've heard Denver. Right now, where we rolling, I wouldn't have no problem with that either.
They both good fits. I mean, Blake Bortles is struggling. I mean, only reason why he's still there and it's not a pressing need in Jacksonville right now is because they winning, right? And the defense is carrying them, and Blake don't have to actually do a whole lot. So they feel like they're okay. They're not going to go out of their way to bring Eli Manning to Jacksonville. But Denver, though, look, and I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think their quarterback situation got them pinned into a corner, and I don't think they will be able to bring Eli Manning to Denver. But they both big fits. I mean, I think both teams will work.
I agree.
All right, so JB, here we go. Man, in the AFC North rivalry games, you know how they go. You know how they go. And normally we see Pittsburgh and Baltimore kind of duke it out, but I was surprised to see, Cincinnati, get involved in things like that. So a whole lot of stuff happened, fines and stuff. So let's talk about this first. Do you think, let's go with, who was it? Perfect. It was, who was the other one?
Perfect and Juju Smith.
Juju Smith. I thought it was another guy on the Bengals team too.
Iloka cut.
Yes.
The safety, he out.
Yeah, but his fine his fine
they
got
brought him
reduced
back.
to, I mean his
Right.
suspension got reduced to a fine for
Right.
his involvement. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about these incidents though, right? JB, since it's your division, you know, I know it's something you probably be like, look, this is what we do. You know what I mean? So what you think about it though?
No, not so much because I mean Ravens Steelers games. I've been paying attention to them games for a long time. So I mean, you'll see every once in a while big collisions, but it ain't never crossed that line of dirty.
Right.
Every once in a while, every one anomalous year, you'll see something like that. But with the Bengals, it's just perfect. Yeah. And him crossing the line and his teammates having his back. So it's the usual suspects pretty much every time. George Iloka, Pac-Man, perfect.
Yeah. And, you know, and just like your boy in Denver, Glass, your boy Aqib Talib, who, you know, repeatedly do the same thing. Like, he got into the thing with, you know, the wide receiver from Oakland last year. So, but Perfect's name come up almost every year. Almost if it wasn't dealing with Cam and some other stuff that happened last year with the Steelers, and his name is always coming up. So what are they gonna do to him? They're gonna keep on finding him, or keep on? I mean, like, but he still maintains a position on that team. Number one, do you think he's super dirty, would you cool with him to just keep on suspending him and he all right keeping the job there?
And you talking about Perfect?
Yeah,
Perfect's gonna be perfect, man. He figured this is what's paid the bills. This would put money in my pocket. So if I deter from this, I'm gonna lose my starting spot. So I get the mentality, but in the same breath, I think he damn near lost about $1 million already, if not more, on fines, and he don't know no other way. So honestly, I'm keep it real with you, keep it real on this show. When Juju laid him out, I was like, yeah. You know that was payback. You know, like I said on Twitter, Juju's looking like, yeah, that's from my boy AB. You got him 3 years ago. Right. We ain't forgot about that.
So, what up, T Money? What's going on, homie? T Money is in the building. What y'all think about these receivers? Like, you know, we saw Crabtree try to fight off 3 Broncos and all of this. And what about these receivers getting gangster, man? What you think about this, JB? Like, these receivers are, you know, they throwing it back at them DBs, man. What you think about that, JB?
It's just like I was watching something earlier today. Due to the rules, the offensive players is able to manipulate the defensive player now. Now they're not so much the aggressor because of the rules. Right. If to prove what I'm saying, Le'Veon Bell's touchdown, they thought he was gonna curve out of bounds. The defender had to almost 100% pull up for the fact you don't want to get unnecessary roughness penalty if he in the white. So they pulled up. Now, it was a lack of effort on that. You know, you could add a couple other elements to that too. But for the most part, for 3 players to pull up when he riding the whites, you know, it's manipulative. So what can you do? It's almost it's even now. And then I also want to go, because I can't give any of the Bengals or the Steelers props on the Smith hit on Burford, but at the same time, it's an injustice to when James Harrison was fined all that time just for playing football. Right. Burford has obviously intentionally been dirty on multiple occasions.
Multiple occasions, man. And you know, and it's funny though, Glass. And it was like almost the court of public opinion, because like 2 days had passed, or a day had passed before the suspensions came out, before we got that notice about, you know, we saw on Twitter and everything. Like it was some time passed. And then it was like, you know what, we got to do this. We got to suspend these guys. We got to do it. Like, it was almost like that was going to be like, okay, whatever. Now, Aries is saying that the Juju had, his hit was clean. And, it probably was, but it was still illegal.
Wait, what did he say?
He said Juju's hit was clean. But
I agree.
But in the rules of the game, it was above and beyond, okay? So you can't do that.
I think it was just the temperature of the game based on a couple of things that happened. You had Shazier go down, then you had a couple more things, plus the rest right there listening to the language, guys, saying this and then the third. So when you see something like that, I mean, we're talking about a receiver on the line. But granted, Smith is a big kid, but still.
I don't know.
Yeah, but just to add on top of that, I think the fact that he was standing above him, the taunting, that really pulled it over. Right. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I think he was dazed himself, trying to get himself together before he moved around.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Because Burford is not a small fella.
Right. Okay.
Now, at the end of the day, fellas, at the end of the day, like it looked like the NFL done turned into the wild, wild west. It's like it's all kind of wild stuff happening right now, you know. And it's all wild. You got one of the owners going against the commissioner, and the commissioner in the midst of trying to renegotiate his contract. It's almost like, wow, that's going on over here. They kind of the inmates are kind of just busting loose over here, right? So do y'all see it that way, or am I the only one who see that?
I agree, because in the same like breadth of what we talking about, all these things that we saw, as far as an unnecessary roughness penalty, or like defenseless player, you had Gronkowski do something completely unrelated to football,
absolutely, and
it equated the same amount of like that was the standard. So everything that happened after that within those confines was warranted a 1-game suspension. That's ridiculous, man.
It's wild out there right now, though, JB. It's like, you're talking about somebody like, clean cut All-American guy like Gronk going WWE style, right? Then you got
it went full on Dusty Rhodes, man. I remember that.
You got then you got Keeb and Crabtree acting like they in the hood somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, Glass, it's the wild, wild west out there, bro. I don't know how you feel about it.
I don't. You know what? What can you do? What you gonna do? I guess that's the question now. I hear what y'all saying. Well, how y'all gonna curtail that? Now, the Gronk situation, he should have got more than 1 game, because you said it's damn near premeditated. You sat there, looked at my man, wait for him to roll over, then you gonna go at his neck? No, man. Right. He should have got at least 3 at the minimum.
Well, I can say this. At least we ain't talking about flags and kneeling, right? At least we talk about something else. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's true.
And over the years, I'm telling y'all, I've seen less, and they get way worse punishment.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I just think right now it's just the attention is being spread too thin elsewhere. So the players are, they AJ versus Jalen. I forgot about that one, T-Man. Yeah, you're right. But I think that the attention is just they not watching the class right now. Everybody out in the hall, having grown folks conversations. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But anyway, just to make sure we making sure we hitting all the fans proper, right? The people who watch us, we got to pay them respect. Let's get into these games, guys. Let's start with Carolina. They had a chance to be have sole possession of the NFC South. And you know what? I'm gonna do this right now, JB, because I don't want to hear your mouth about it, right? And I also want to make sure that Saints Uptown get his props. Okay. Listen, Alvin Kamara and what's the other running back's name?
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to him. They ran up and down the field like it was nobody's business, man. And we couldn't stop him. You can bring 5 kicklers out there. I don't think it would have made that much of a difference, Glass. What you think?
Hey, man, Alvin Kamara is a diamond in the rough, man. I'm a diehard University of Tennessee fan, and I didn't see this coming. With him coming out of Tennessee, yeah. I think he broke a rookie record on something. I don't know rushing yards, but either here nor there. Hey, all they needed, they already got Drew Brees. They need half of a defense, and they need to run the game. They got everything got put together just one season. So,
right.
Hey.
So, I was going to say something like this, JB. I was going to be like, well, you know what? They got us in Charlotte. They beat us in Charlotte. Cam had a horrible game that day. They ran the score pretty high on us that day. I was for sure that they would go down there to the Superdome and get it back, right? This is my thing with Carolina, JB. And I'm saying, like, they made them changes with KB, and they brought in Clay and moved McCaffrey to the slot and all of this kind of stuff, right? But I don't know, man. I felt like we were more consistent before. I don't like this new lineup, JB. What you think about it?
Well, let me give some eye-opening facts about the New Orleans Saints. Now, granted, I always say is the polarizing, which is the big cog is Drew Brees. Everybody knows that. And we see the success of Kamara and the release of Adrian Peterson. You wonder why that didn't work versus I think what the magic is about the New Orleans Saints right now is linebacker play, and I don't know who those guys are, and the offensive line.
Yeah.
Because without that, you don't see this. I remember when they was first gelling, Adrian Peterson was having big time issues, and he wanted out, he got out. Yeah. And then you can't tell me that this Alvin Kamara kid is way more talented than a seasoned, healthy Adrian Peterson. It's the offensive line. It's working.
Well, that and he's about 10 years younger than AP. I'm just saying. So.
And probably about another whole he's being smaller. So I don't think he's that. He's talented, but he ain't that special. It's the offensive line. It's the opportunities that the offensive coordinators creating it. It's working.
Yeah.
And they seemed like a whole 2 or 3 steps faster than y'all the whole game.
They did, man. You know, and I'm telling you, the first game, I was actually surprised. I thought it was just a bad game by Carolina, but you know, I wasn't really ready to say, you know, New Orleans had moved into that spot because you know, beginning of the season, we had them basically easing out of the basement, getting that third spot, just on technicality. You know what I'm saying? What up, Anwar? Anwar is in the building. Mr. T Money said that was the worst tackle performance I've ever seen from our team in a while. Back to the Carolina Panthers, Glass. I ain't making no excuses for my boys, man. They're inconsistent, you know. And I talked about that lineup. They made that change a couple weeks ago. I've not been a fan of it. I don't know what you think about it.
You know what? I think you still got a little hatred for Christian McCaffrey. I don't understand why.
Well, have you seen Christian? Listen. I'm gonna say this about Christian McCaffrey. Like everybody excited about, especially around here, everybody excited about Christian McCaffrey. From what I've seen, I ain't seen nothing impressive about the kid yet. He can't run between the tackles. He can only be a check down guy. I don't know. I'm not feeling. If it wasn't for Stewart putting the ball on the ground so many times, I don't think people would be paying McCaffrey that much attention. To be honest with you, you know.
Okay, I hate you, but you know what? I think they got to find a way to take some of the load off of Cam's shoulder. You can't do everything. You can't pass the ball, run the ball, and all that stuff. That's still, I guess they got their whole mindset that he's going to be the man. We're going to run him down until we can't use him anymore. That's a bad outlook on that situation.
I think
so defense, I mean, that's basically it. You can't. I guess they rely too much on Cam, and they're not trying to get the receivers that he needed. Right. They're not trying to get the run game compared to you, because you don't like Christian. You don't have the run game that they needed, so they're just gonna do what they got and work on it from there. I mean, what are y'all 8-4 now?
8-4, and we still in the wild card. We still in the wild. We're gonna show that in a minute. But we're still in the wild card. I thought that was gonna kick us back out and put us back into, and you know, in that hunt situation. But we still in. But
you're still in there, right?
But we can't really afford to make no more mistakes, though. I'm just saying. And Carolina.
What can you do right now? All right, I hear what you're saying, but at this point in time, you got to work with what you got.
You do.
You got to keep on rolling with this.
Yeah, and speaking of that, right? Let's keep it rolling and keeping it gangster. Listen, your boys, you know, which I know you glad about this. So you know, the good folk over there at Urban Arena, you know, them Eagles fans though.
Oh man,
they got brought back down to earth, right? You know, so Glass. First of all, how you feel about that, man?
I don't know if it's bad for the Eagles or good for the Seahawks. Seahawks, I guess they clicking at the right time. I was impressed with what I seen. What was that, Sunday night game?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson. If y'all don't think he's elite, you gotta give him his credit. You gotta give him.
I had a feeling you was gonna do that, but I thought like 2 years ago, you was on my side saying Russell wasn't elite. But anyway, JB, this is what I was saying the last time we was here. I said that if the Eagles ran up against a playoff worthy team, they're gonna get slapped around. And you know everything they did before. I think you agreed with me because you said you didn't really believe in them like that, right?
I know.
This is the real deal. They're going up against Russell Wilson and a depleted, you know, Seattle defense. And, you know, they couldn't get it done. Granted, I think Philly's defense showed up that night, but it wasn't enough, JB. What you think?
I didn't believe it. Just like Jared Goff, we was been out of here for 2 weeks, but it happened to him too. So, I mean, granted, he'll bounce back. I mean, the team, they've been masking a few. Now, hold on. Let me be fair. That guy made some unbelievable plays in that game, you know, like he's been doing all season. But it's just, you know, when it matters, you got to show up. I'm sure he has, but against a team that understand the peaks and value of a game, in hostile confines, come on.
Yeah.
Man, he may have not lost that game. He may have learned something.
I mean,
hopefully that's the
maybe. You know what I mean? I just know this, that you know we talked about his poise. We talked about, you know, his decision making, and you know, and I think that stuff still stands. I just think that, you know, as a collective, when they met somebody who was either at their level or above, they weren't going to be able to withstand the Glass. I knew it. You know what I mean? So when they roll into the playoffs and dealing with the Vikings and you know, maybe they have to see Seattle again or something like that, you know, what they going to do? You know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do?
Well, this is really the litmus test right now. We've seen what they could do against Seattle. Now they were going to run up against the Rams.
Yeah.
The Rams basically, you know, even though they got Jared Goff behind center, but still that defense is legit. So next couple of weeks, we're going to find out what they're about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
We
I
don't
believe
really
it.
trust him in the playoffs.
Look, I'm still calling. I'm calling it one and done. I'm calling it right now.
I think
One and done.
you got a chance against a depleted Seahawks team to clinch
Yeah.
before week 12
Mm-hmm.
or whatever week it is, before the
Yeah.
end of the season. You know,
Right.
you had a chance to go ahead and lock up the NFCs. Couldn't get it done. So that was an important game to them. They was
It
playing
was.
like it too. They just didn't have enough.
Yeah. All right, and we're gonna do this last one before we get into the playoff picture because I don't want to mess with Double L's, but I hope she watching. I hope she watching. Because look, I was on the pool deck of the boat watching on this ginormous screen, right? That Washington team, oh my God, they had like 19 turnovers in the first half of the game. They gave the ball to Dallas so many times. And you know what? This was a pick that I was glad I got wrong. I picked the Dallas Cowboys to win that game, but just watching the first quarter and how many times Washington turned the ball over, I was like, these guys are not ready. And I don't know if Kirk Cousins done checked out already, Glass. I don't know. What you think?
Checked out? Probably not. You know, he got this is his what we say, his showcase time where
Right.
you know for any teams want to pick him up. Broncos.
Right.
You got to show him prove, make himself look good.
Mm-hmm.
So he might. I don't think he checked out. I just think he knows where he at right now. He really ain't gonna worry too much about his stay at Washington.
Okay. Double S says she's here and she don't want to talk about it. Look, JB, I'm just saying. The only reason why I'm breaking it up, because for 3 weeks now, it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they've been putting microphones in Dak Prescott's face, asking him why they were losing. And they wanted him to say it's because Zeke ain't here. And, you know, he kept on saying, no, it ain't because Zeke ain't here. It ain't because the other dude was out. It ain't because of that. It's because we suck right now. But, man, they went up against Washington, dude. And, you know, look, they had a reason to smile again, JB. What you think about this?
Well, first of all, you wear your color rush uniform that they pick, the fans pick. You don't decide collectively to go against some of the fans want. And they pretty much they kept trying to give Dallas that game. Even when Dallas was trying to get it back, they served it up for them again. So I mean, what a time to play your worst game. If that's it. I don't know. That was pretty bad though.
It was rough. It was rough. So I you know, and I don't know where they put them at right now, but we're gonna look at this real quick. Let's see. Let me go and say Kirk going to Denver anyway. So I'm looking at the comments. So T-Money said Kirk Cousins hurt because 49ers got Jimmy G. And look, he might be, but look, he know he got a lot of money coming his way regardless. Like, you know, he was talking about his showcase. I think his body of work is enough. I think he can tank the rest of the season, and he's still one of the number one free agent quarterbacks that's out there, right? Well, now that Eli Manning may be in the mix, I don't know. You know, I don't know. And can y'all believe this? That right now, because of that stuff that happened in New York, that Phillip Rivers has the longest streak of 188, 187 of any player, not just a quarterback, of any player right now. That lets you know that we're in a bad state of affairs right now. Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I mean, Rivers pretty terrible.
Oh yeah, apparently.
Right? You don't want to give Rivers credit for nothing, right?
Look, I like P. Rivers. You know, and as a matter of fact, I like him so much that he the last one in his class who ain't got no ring yet. This might be the year. I'm gonna put that in perspective while we look at this playoff picture, right? So when we look at it, if I can find it, let's see. Here we go. So we got the number 1 and 2 seeds in the AFC. Pittsburgh with the number 1 seed.
I told y'all.
Wow.
Y'all gonna listen to me.
You said it. Pittsburgh with the number 1 seed. New England number 2, right? And then you got the Titans. Where the Titans come from, JB?
Hey, they've been playing good football, man.
Bengals at KC at number 4. Bengals at 6. Oh, wait a minute. Jacksonville at 5. Bengals at 6. That's interesting right there in the AFC.
No.
There's no Bengals.
Not Bengals. I mean Jags. Jags.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, that's interesting right there, Glass. I mean, because there's some new players in the mix right there. Tennessee in the mix. You know, we got KC in the mix. Well, who was that last year? But Jacksonville, though. The AFC playoff, if it stay that way, because you still got the Chargers right there on the bubble, right? The Buffalo Bills ain't going to make it. The Oakland Raiders ain't going to make it. Okay, NFC side of things, you got the number 1 seed and the Minnesota Vikings over the Philadelphia Eagles. Then you got the Rams, the Saints, Seahawks, and the Panthers pulling up with the 6th seed, right? The Falcons knocking on the door. The Lions are knocking on the door. I don't think Dallas is going to make it. I think they had a chance to catch up, but they lost so many games in a row. Zeke ain't coming back for another, 2 weeks? Is that right?
Another week.
Okay. And Packers, man, they're talking about Aaron Rodgers coming back and all that. They're not going to make it. Anyway, fellas, looking at that, especially in the AFC picture glass. That is interesting to me. What you think about that?
I'm gonna beg to differ what you said earlier when we ran down the AFC. Did you say the Chargers, Raiders were not gonna make it? Well, the Chargers wasn't gonna make it.
No, I said no. I said the Chargers. Well, I said the Rivers is the only one in this class who ain't got a ring yet, and this year might be.
No, we do ran it down anyway.
Oh, I got a picture, guys. I'm just looking at a picture here. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going. Where I'm going is with Chiefs being in, got the number 4 spot. They got they in a nosedive for simple fact. I think they're on a 4-game losing streak while the Chargers got a 3-game winning streak going on. And if I ain't mistaken, I heard they just suspended Marcus Peters for next game for throwing that flag up in the
that's why I think the Chargers gonna get in. I think the Chargers will get in, and KC probably gonna come out of there, right? That's what I'm thinking.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but the AFC picture is very interesting, JB. Your boy is back in there for the first time in a while, right? How that feel?
We'll see.
We'll see. Right? And we looking at this. Okay, hold on. Let me go to the comment. So Anwar said, "I got Chargers winning the AFC West." Team Money said Tennessee wasn't impressive earlier, but was winning ugly. Anwar said Chiefs on a 6-game losing streak. And they winning 6 since Halloween. So yeah, I think the Chiefs probably gonna be. I mean, I think the only reason why they're still there now is because they had won some of the games early, and they gave they lost all them games and gave the Chargers a chance to catch up. I'm surprised though about Tennessee and Jacksonville, 2 teams from the AFC South, and they real close. They real close. But one of them got to go before we get there, right? They got to play each other one more time, I think, but that's interesting right there. So, and on the NFC side of things, they look pretty straightforward to me. I think Carolina, they're in a bad situation when they got 2 divisional games coming up 3, I think. No, 2 divisional games. They got Atlanta and they have Tampa. So they may get Tampa. We already beat Atlanta once. I think Atlanta may. I don't know. So that's a tough one right there. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous that Carolina might not make it. JB, what you think about the AFC? I mean the NFC.
I think both divisions kind of wide open except for who we feel like the standard is. I mean AFC side, of course, is New England, Pittsburgh. NFC side, it's kind of fluid. There's some different characters at the top this time.
It is, and I think the only new one, we've seen.
I mean, we're talking about Case Keenum leading. Really?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Kidding me.
And we got
you got the Vikings, you got the Rams, the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints are in there for the first time in a while, and the Eagles in there. You know what I'm saying? So, the Vikings kind of making their thing to kind of make a spot there in the playoffs. So, I don't know. It's an interesting looking playoff picture. We still got a couple weeks left. Like I said, Atlanta is still knocking on the door. I think Atlanta and Carolina are tied right now, right? With Carolina having the
Atlanta and who? Carolina?
Because we beat them here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Falcons 7-5. Y'all 8-4.
Okay, cool. I thought we were closer than that. Okay, so the Falcons waiting on Carolina to slip up, right? And the way they've been playing, they super inconsistent right now. So I don't know. That's a tough one right there. I think Seattle is safe. I think the Rams are safe. I don't think we're gonna see that much flip flopping between Minnesota and Philadelphia either. I'm just worried about Carolina right now. Yeah, Carolina. And what's Detroit's record right now?
I think they
6-6.
Okay, so if Carolina can win at least one more game, they'll be safe from Detroit. They still got to worry about Atlanta though. So, then you got on the other side. I think the one team I'm worried about over there is the number 3 seed Tennessee Titans. They in a mix with a bunch of teams who done been there, done that. What's up? I'm talking about as far as Pittsburgh, New England, Baltimore. They got a tough fight to fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of worried about.
Well, I mean, not really, no, because I've seen some regular season where the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Ravens and the Steelers pretty convincingly. Right. We're talking 30-9 and 44-7. So the team that ain't at the top don't mean that they the clear-cut winner, because we've seen it. We've seen the Patriots look vulnerable,
right?
And they continue to get vulnerable as they lose things.
Yeah, they do. So, according to I'm gonna get to you in a minute, Glass. According to the comment section, so Team Money says Panthers and Saints both get in ATL. And then Aries said, no matter who that division, they get knocked out first round. Which division you talking about, Aries? Is that the AFC South you talking about? Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, I agree.
So what you was getting ready to go with, Glass?
No, I was cool.
All right, so with that division talk out of the way.
Oh, wait. But before, I'm sorry. Since we talking about, let's go all the way down to the dungeon of the picture of the, you know how we go around, pick up the dumpster fires. You know, my hometown Chicago Bears. Lord have mercy. I don't know what to say. Will you let the 49ers beat you with a kicker that you used to have? Yeah, let's blow up everything right now.
Wait a minute. Did they beat Carolina? They didn't beat Carolina. I thought they beat Carolina. They didn't. But I'm saying though, listen, they've been working out.
So San Francisco is the winner. They're the best. They've beat both other losing teams.
They did.
They got Cleveland and they got the Bears.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and who else?
But they're working things out in Chicago, so I think they found their quarterback.
They're working things out.
I think they found their quarterback guy. Okay, listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay, so listen, they've been experimenting. They knew they weren't gonna do nothing this year, right? You know, you got a second. It was first year, second year. Is he rookie this season? Trubisky, yeah, he was a rookie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the rookie quarterback in there. You got no offensive weapons for the kid. You know, nothing. You got nothing, right?
I still don't see what y'all see. I ain't gonna sit here and say he
listen, he's getting the most out of a bad.
But he ain't thrown past 20 yards, man.
Hey, listen, they said that about Alex Smith, and look what he had. Right, well, okay, I guess I can't really say that, but
okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So in the dump truck, we got the Bears, 49ers, and Giants out of the NFC, and we only got one team in the AFC. Guess who that is? Big Q.
Let's see. Hold on, let me think.
The Browns.
Oh, the Browns, right? Okay, yeah.
And who hasn't won a game? Like I told you.
So this is what I said about Cleveland, though. You can't say that Cleveland don't come out there and give it 110. They just don't have the talent, man. It's like, you ever seen that movie, that Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny movie, Space Jam?
Yeah.
That's what it's like for them, man. They look.
Well, whose fault is that? Front office. Y'all, you had first round picks damn near for a whole decade.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know, you have first round picks and you use them, and then you give the picks away after you use them. I don't know.
They were too interested in making other teams better. They made four teams in recent memory made four teams better. They made Houston better. They made Philly better. They made the Rams better.
They sure
easy.
Did. But this is what I will say: they got to be smart enough for this, guys. They got to be smart enough to know that the coach that's there is probably the best one they're gonna get for right now. I think he's a good coach. I think he's been good for that team. You know, I think he's been good. I mean, he keep them motivated. That quarterback is horrible. Okay, you know, they just got Josh Gordon back. He just getting his wheels up under him. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I think if they get some better leadership in the front office, like you've been saying for years now, I think the coach there is good. I think he's the one to take them in the right direction. It's just, I don't know. They always quick to fire the coach before they fire them dudes in the office, which is that's why they stay in the cycle all the time. You know, that's their problem. You know.
Listen, man. That's what I got to say about Hugh Jackson. It's going to take him 3 years to get that team the way he wanted and the way it should be. Do you think the front office will give him that much time to do so?
Well, you know, looking at their past transgressions, no. I mean, they fired 2 coaches after 1 season. You know,
exactly. That's why I was like, I think Hugh Jackson should have said, "Nah, I'll wait for the next gig." There was many gigs to get after that.
I think the owner is smart enough to know. Listen, if anything, we got our coach. You know, we still figuring out this quarterback thing. We got a couple studs on offense. You know, we got a couple studs on defense. They got some building blocks there. You know.
Wait a minute, see, you got who you talking about? We talking about the Cleveland Browns.
The Cleveland Browns.
You actually think they got the right coach?
I do.
That's what I'm saying.
I do. I really believe in Hugh Jackson. I do. Okay, so let me go to this one more time. Anwar said the Bears have no weapons whatsoever. They lost their best receiver in Zach Miller, which makes it worse. Anwar says the Browns organization is too dysfunctional to have any success, and they have been bad for years and have shown no signs of improvement. But I tell you what they got to do: get rid of the front office, leave the coach in place, and then bring in some. Listen, Dave Gettleman is out there. There's some other minds out there. It's people out there. Huh?
Who are we talking about?
Talking about the Browns.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you said the Bears. You said the Bears for a second. I'm like, wait a minute.
Hey, don't look surprised, Glad. They are equally as bad, man. They just won a few more games.
I bet the only contrast is I heard him say keep the head coach. I'm like, yo.
No. He said the Bears had no weapons, but then he talked about the Browns being dysfunctional. And
okay, all right.
So anyway, Glass. Enough of that. Right. Let's get into Week 14. Right. What you got for me?
Okay. Oh, now I'm gonna put this up. I got 5.
Okay, JB, listen, you're gonna prove
one of them does not include the Broncos, so y'all get up off of it.
Okay, JB already loaded up. I see it.
I want to hear what you guys say about this AFC North rivalry between the Ravens and the Steelers this week. I'm gonna let JB. I ain't throw this out there. I'm serious about this, man. I think the Ravens got the chance to get one off the Steelers. Is it in Heinz Field or is it in
I don't know.
It's in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh? Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I still got a chance, man.
JB, what you think?
Okay. I don't think.
you bowing out. Listen.
Yeah, you feel like, yeah.
Listen, I'm a paint a picture.
I'm not bowing out. I ain't bowing out at all. You know me better than that. I'm just saying.
Sound like you're throwing the flag in.
I mean,
no flag, bro.
All I gotta say is I like the Ravens defense right now. They seem like they in the top 3 right now, and they got a chance, man. It's just Flacco. If Flacco go back a couple of years to the prime self, they got a chance.
What has it been, about 6 weeks ago, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago? Baltimore dropped 55 on Miami, I think it was, right?
Right.
So it ain't like they can't, look, okay, the Steelers got Bell and Bryan, and I understand that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, let me give you these numbers, man. And I mean, things don't always happen the same way twice, but when you're pretty horrific on certain areas, it could probably continues to follow you. That's probably why Cleveland hadn't won a game. And stuff follows you. So what I mean by that, I say all that to say this: the Bengals were up 20-0 or 17-0, if you think about it, and they were doing it both ways before all the BS started taking place. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been squeaking out games for 6 weeks now. They only had one. I say out of the last 6, they had 2 convincing wins, and that's against a non-playoff sub-500 team. Ravens got inconsistency at quarterback that's been proven, that's been following us all year on offense, period. But we got a league high, maybe historic, 29 takeaways in one season to this point. So you put that together, you tell me what the sum of that is. I like it.
I like it too.
A lot.
Listen, you know what? And that plus turnover margin, that's why you can put 55 points on. And granted, we're talking about Miami, not Pittsburgh, so it's a difference there. But if you can put 55 points up on the Miami Dolphins, you can get 35 on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who ain't really known for scoring that much anyway. Even though they got that high-powered stuff. It was one game a couple weeks ago. They kicked field goals the whole entire game.
Yeah, they're down they're down their heart and soul. Prayers up to them, but they're down. What makes them work?
I'm gonna go out on this one, Glass. I'm going Baltimore on this one. I think if you put Pittsburgh in a situation like that, where they already have a hard time really scoring is a premium for this team. We see that, right? We see it. We know they can't really get into the end zone like that. Even though they got all that stuff, they can't get into the end zone like that. And Baltimore is, listen. They ain't no slouches on defense right now. They have a little hard time moving the ball too, but I think it's enough to get them to win in this game. I'm going Baltimore, Glass. What you got?
Okay, well, I definitely agree with you. Number one, I always call this the Tylenol Bowl because whenever these two teams match up, it's going to be hard hitting.
Right.
And secondly, I would say because even though I picked the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the Super Bowl, they seem to be playing up to their competition.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to hurt them, especially with a game like this. They might sit here and say the Ravens ain't all that because they 7-5, but the Ravens gonna come up in there and stick up in there and get a win. So I'm gonna go with the Ravens on this.
Because you know what, the Ravens they just want to finish the season and still be in the playoffs by the time the season ends.
Exactly.
Because once they get into the playoffs, man, we know what happened last time they were here. So I'm just saying they just want to hold on and get past these last couple games so they can secure a berth. And once they get in there, I'm telling you, the game gonna change a little bit.
Right. And let's not forget, just a week or two ago, they were struggling with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm saying.
I'll say this about that game. Will win it big, and Terrell Suggs.
There you go, Sizzle. Sizzle want to go out with a bang. You know what I mean? So, we all going Baltimore on this one? That's what we're doing. Okay.
All going Baltimore.
All right. So, what you got next for me, Glass?
The 10-2 Eagles going up to LA to play the 9-3 Rams.
Wow, fireworks.
Coach, I got some good ones this time, man.
Huh? It's fireworks.
Coach, I got some good ones this time, man.
That is good. Listen, JB, these the two cornflake teams you say. That's what you call them, right? They facing off. You know, do you think a lot of points gonna get scored in this game? Or I mean, look, Rams defenses. Both teams got good defenses. You know, and they both got quarterbacks who are playing behind really good teams. Like the offensive line and the weapons that they have on both teams. Even though I think the advantage go to LA with the receivers and the running back they got versus what they doing in Philadelphia. But I'm interested to hear what you say, JB, since you call them both cornflake teams. Right, so what you got?
Philly is gonna take another L. The only thing I mean, there's a couple things there that I like about the Rams more so than Philly, because they definitely got exposed. What not so full strength defense, and the Seahawks, the West Coast trip hurt them. They're gonna lose again.
Okay, and Glass, what you got?
I ditto what JB just said. They're going across town. Rams seems to be hot. Eagles reeling. I think you know what? It's one of the things where if you would have lost earlier, you would have comfortable. You've been winning so long. Now you ran into a loss against Seattle. Now you're going up against another NFC West team.
Absolutely.
Ain't looking good. So I'm gonna go with the Rams on this one.
Listen, I think for the last week and this week, you know, I think that the Eagles get their panties pulled down, right? I think this is going to be the worst loss that they take this whole entire season. I think this game is going to be a little bit lopsided. People think this is a pretty even matchup. I mean, what LA got on offense is just I don't know. I think it's too much for Philly. I think it's way too much. I think Rams will go up by at least 14 in this game. Yeah.
Hey, when you give up rushing touchdowns to an unknown committee of backs in Seattle, that's alarming. You got Todd Gurley that you got at home.
Yeah,
right. And let's not forget, all their Pro Bowl left tackle got hurt. It's being exposed now.
Absolutely,
that is correct.
It is. You know what I'm saying? So, wow, we all on the same page. Okay, Glass, what else you got? Get something that's gonna split us up a little bit.
All right, here we go. Here we go, Big Q.
Yeah.
10-2 Vikings going up against your 8-4 Panthers.
Wow. You know, I don't like doing this because, you know, Vernon gave me hell about this last time. You know, so the one time in my life that I picked against Carolina, they came out on top in that game. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm going to say, though. I'm gonna be completely honest about it. You know, I don't think Carolina is very consistent right now. Cam scares me. Jonathan Stewart scares me. Our secondary scares me. Britton Burson scares me. You know how I feel about Christian McCaffrey, okay? Our defense is not nowhere where it was a couple years ago. You know, I'm not feeling good about this, but you know what? Just to satisfy the crowd, I'm gonna stick with my Panthers, right? I'm gonna pick them, but man, I find it hard for them to win this game. I do. If they pull it off, great, but you know, I don't know. JB, what you got?
Too much Mike Zimmer scheme defense, the players on their defense, and I don't see anyone containing Rudolph, let alone I'll be the first to say this on air. Nobody else giving Adam Thielen any credit about how he is doing.
I will give him credit.
I don't foresee the Carolina secondary slowing them down. I don't see the front getting to Keenum because that's the weakness, and they protecting that very well. Yeah. So Adam Thielen, they have a great game.
Man, you know, Minnesota, like, you know, I look at them and nobody is like jumping off the page with me, Glass. But man, they play so well together, though, man. Like they're all around like good. Like they in a good spot. So like I said, like if Carolina, like if everybody turns it on in Carolina, like, you know, we get a good performance out of Kuechly, Cam, the usual suspects. You know, I think we can stay in this game. But you know, this is a tough one, man. What you got?
You got Jack. Just like you said, you got to have a grade A game for this one.
Yeah.
I like what I see in Minnesota. People, you know, they way up north and everything. Nobody paying attention, but people paying attention now because they've been knocking out, you know, standing up teams and knocking them down.
Right.
Defense legit top 3, if not number 1.
Right.
Case Keenum, I don't know what the hell got into him. He must have forgot who he was. He doing the damn good job.
He fighting off Bridgewater. That's what he doing. You know what
hey, well, keep on doing that, man. Let's not.
Hold on, Glass. It ain't so much Keenum as it is Thielen and Rudolph.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. But look, come on. But JB, what I'm saying is, did you expect all this out of Case Keenum?
I didn't.
I don't even know.
As long as he don't turn it over. I mean, far as the touchdowns that I've been seeing, guys been wide open. I don't understand. Maybe it's the scheme. He don't really have to fit throws. I've yet to hear an announcer or a tweet or a highlight where Case Keenum threaded the needle. The guy pretty much been butt naked.
He ain't got to do like he don't have to be there.
No.
All we ask him to be a game manager.
When Thielen, he's 2 yards in front of the DB every single play. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you get Rudolph who just beasting on the DBs. Like they can't guard him. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
All I'm asking Case Keenum is to be a game manager. I ain't asking him to sit there, put the team on the shoulder. Yeah. And let's not forget they got an 8-game winning streak.
Yeah. Listen, T-Money. I'm giving you all the props in the world because you know what, you in there. But look, I gotta put my analyst side out of me, right? You know, he said we beat Minnesota, we can get the case with 4. You know, I ain't really seen a whole lot of that this season. I just haven't. You know, I'm just gonna keep it gangster with you. I ain't seen a whole lot of that, man.
But I will say this to keep it fair. This will be decided late in the game who wins.
Yeah,
it won't be a whole lot of stuff.
That's if
man.
we don't turn the ball over, because you know the turnover rate in Carolina is going kind of sky high right now. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't even think it's gonna be that close, y'all.
Right.
I don't know how they'll be. The Vikings definitely will be one dimensional because that run game that they have is not going to work against Carolina.
Right.
That ain't going to work.
So that's
who is it?
In Carolina's favor. Yeah, that's good. That's what's his name? McKinney.
McKinney.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not going to get it done.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's a tough one. So guys, there's some good games, but Carolina got to be careful with this. That's the last point I want to make. Carolina got to be super careful with this one because I think they got 2 divisional games coming up after this to close the season now, right? They got Atlanta and Tampa, right? And you know, in Atlanta somewhere sniffing around. So you know, look at Aries. He already said he just took the words out of my time. He rooting for the Vikes this weekend. I know you would. Why would
hey,
right?
take away Thielen and Rudolph and play field position and let your kicker do his thing. You'll win that game.
Yeah, you know.
But if Thielen, Rudolph, they get you 2 times a piece or once a piece.
Yeah,
it's probably locks out.
It's a tough one. All right, Glass, what you gonna bring us home with?
NFC South.
Another NFC
9-3 Saints, 7-5 Falcons. At Atlanta.
At Atlanta? Look, I don't see nothing. I'm just keeping it real. I don't see nothing that Atlanta can do better than what Carolina could do against that run game. I don't see nothing that's gonna be different there. What you think, Glass? They ran about for 248 yards against Carolina, I think it was. 248 yards against Carolina. I think if they do what they did last week against Carolina to Atlanta, they can probably reach 275, 300. I'm just saying.
It's hard for me to say that Atlanta's not going to show up because every time they have a bad game, they turn around and have a good game. I can't see Julio Jones being held back. Another game like that.
No, Lattimore is
going to
go for 350.
How often is the offense going to be on the field? This is what the Saints have been doing for the last 6 weeks, man. They've been running the ball, dominating the time of possession. The other team don't get a chance to clap back. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
So who you picking?
Look, I'm going with New Orleans right here. And said he got the Saints in this game. They ain't stopping that running back duo. So he with me. I'm just saying. I'm telling you, they got 248.
That's the only thing that's tipping the scales for me.
Yeah.
I think the Falcons will give them a game because let's not forget what 2-3 years ago when y'all was undefeated, who's the team that knocked y'all off?
Atlanta. I mean, you know,
Atlanta.
But look, they caught a bad Carolina Panthers game. Team that day.
Everybody can have a bad game.
Yeah.
But I think if Drew Brees. See, this is what makes it worse for the Saints. If Drew Brees have, 8 up to par, they got that run game.
Yeah.
I think Alvin Kamara just changed everything there. So I'm gonna go with the Saints on this one. I was gonna go with the Falcons, but after I sit here and hear you talk it out, I'm gonna go with the Saints too.
So Aries said that they're gonna stop that running back duo, Jay. But he said they got what it take to do it. I don't see it. I think our defense is definitely better than theirs. And if they got 248 on us, they're gonna get 275 on Atlanta. That's just what I'm saying.
I got Atlanta too much Julio. They got their own running back duo. Y'all got behind, so you start playing one dimensional. You facing the Saints, they pretty much force your hand from playing from. You can't play from behind against
I'm
New
just
Orleans.
saying, you got the best.
Or any team. So they may end up having to play from behind. You know,
But
they
listen,
might
though,
force their hand to
this
do
is what I'm trying to
some stuff
get you to understand, though. Alvin Kamara and that other dude, I don't know, Ingram. If they got 248 yards against the best linebacking duo in the NFL, what's they gonna do against these young boys, Vic Beasley and these other little guys they got down there? Like, I mean.
Well, I ask you another question. Yeah. Where else have they had that kind of success? You might be feeling yourself too much right there.
No, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like,
where else they got 248 at? They actually been beat with the same guys, same running game. They've been beat.
You got a point. Okay, everyone said the Saints defense ain't the same. They playing well this year, so that gives them another advantage too. You know. Okay.
Yeah, they down their top guy. Hence why Funches got loose a couple of times. Be for real. Y'all just wasn't what the film you studied wasn't the game that they gave you.
Okay.
It's that easy.
You know, listen, you know, I do think that the Carolina Panthers did play bad that day, but I'm just saying, you know, those are a couple guys on the Carolina Panthers team who always bring it, no matter how bad the rest of the team is playing. And you know they couldn't stop that run. I mean, they were
the Saints. Who did the Saints lose? Who beat the Saints? I forget who that was.
Carolina.
Nah, who broke the streak?
Oh no, because we beat them way before that. So yeah.
Rams, right?
Yeah, I think that's who it was.
Rams?
That's who it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, the court rest right there. I picking Atlanta all day.
Okay,
because this is not a week. This is not a week 3 or 4 game. This is they got beat by the Rams. They was jailed. They was solid. They was believing certain game plans. They had things in their offense that it was a consistent. So we're gonna go to this one offense, and they lost.
Let me ask you this, Aries, because you know, look, I know that's your team, and you feeling real confident about it. I'm just saying you're not elite. You're not. Listen, I know Breeze's numbers done went down the season because of the running back situation they got going on. But look, if they doing an average of 200 yards per game, right, and you got Drew Brees, and he doing 300 yards, you know, per game. I want to know, you know, you talking, okay, while we got us our right tackle is out. I want to know what you think y'all got that's going to be able to slow them boys down. I'm just saying. I mean, we beat them one time, you know what I'm saying? But this is before they got it together. This was early in the season.
Maybe it wasn't about slowing down. Maybe it was the lack. Y'all didn't have the lack of offensive firepower to keep up.
Right. I guess so.
I mean, games take on a life of their own. I mean, they just happen to have some run success. A lot of it against y'all.
By 6. You say the first loss was what, the beginning of the year by 6. Okay. All right. Cool. So listen, that's all you got from me, Glass? Because I know you busted out 5 on this last time. You know.
I could bust out another one. Just see what y'all got to say.
What is it?
Nah. Go ahead, though. One more, Glass.
Seahawks, Jaguars.
I like that.
Seahawks, Jaguars?
I like it. Where they playing at? They playing in the swamp?
Jacksonville.
Yeah, I was just there a couple of days ago, man. I don't like Jacksonville because that was my first time going there. I don't like it. But anyway,
it ain't the true Florida. Let's leave it at that.
Definitely, it's North Florida.
Yeah.
But I
it's
like
Southern Georgia. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. Oh man, the air so thick there. But anyway, you got them playing good defense, right? You know, Seahawks. You know, their defense is a little hobble right now. You know, but we did see what they did to the Eagles. So that's a good game. That one is. But you know what? This is what I would do though, Glass, just to kind of make it interesting and watch the pick'em board this weekend, so you'll see what's going on. But you know, I like Saxonville in this one, man. You know, I do. I mean, Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson, and you know, you got Russell Wilson versus Blake Bortles, and that ain't no competition there. But I think that Jacksonville defense is just. Now they might not be able to get to Russell Wilson, but they're gonna knock somebody else's block off. So, you know.
Right. You know what? I like what I see in the Jaguars. Bortles against Russell. We know which way that's going. But I think Russell. I like the Jaguars defense, but Russell is like. I mean, he can pick them apart.
He's a magician, man. He's
gonna pick them apart.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Seahawks on this one.
Okay. All right, JB, what you got?
Jacksonville.
Okay, cool. So that was it, right? And so what you gonna do? Oh, you good? Well, look, it was a pleasure getting back with you guys after my little vacation and going on. And everybody in the audience, man, I'm glad y'all came out. Well, not a whole lot of promotion for the show coming back. I think I did start it early though. I did start it on Tuesday instead of waiting until Wednesday to do the promotion on Twitter and stuff. So I'm glad y'all came out and checked us out after being off for 2 weeks. But we got something special for y'all. And Aries, look, it's time for you to step up, bro. It's time for you to step to the table. Okay, it's time to step to the table, right? So yeah. Anyway, JB, it was good to be back. Hey, look, I got some stuff for you, man. When I come down there, I got something for you. But anyway, put yourself over for the crowd.
Well, let me let people know real quick. Everybody know you got back from Jamaica. I mean, it ain't none of that what you think it is. Okay,
No,
so
definitely not.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And we clear. I don't believe that you realized you had those shades on top of your head the whole show, man.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Anyway, man. Happy to be back. Happy to be back with my bros. Thanks for the support, constant from most of you, and spread the word, man. You can always find me on Twitter or here or on Twitter at Raven Show.
Yeah. Well, thanks for reminding me at the very end of the show that I had the glasses on my head the whole entire time. I
was
messing around before it went on air.
I give your divisional friends a reason to screen capture that look when they beat you.
Oh, right. Okay. All right, Glass. I'm saying, man, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get them Cubans to you, bro, but Sam, go ahead and put yourself over anyway, man.
It's all good, man. It's glad to be back after this 2-week hiatus, man. I want to give condolences to the crew right here because even though we different in most occasions when we make these picks, shouts out to us because we were all three of us in the top 10 in the pick 'em shut up league. T Money, bruh, where you at? Man?
Where you at though?
He down. I can't even see the rearview mirror. You 20th spot, man.
Oh,
Shout out to Double L. She won last week. She knows what she's doing. I think she moved up to the 5th spot. So kudos to everybody here. People, if y'all don't find me here at TeamBoydTV Live, you can check me out at Giveaway Sports, place where you get your sports the way you want it. Check out the blog page at giveawaysports.wordpress.com. Check out us on YouTube when we come back at Giveaway Sports. Check us out on Spreaker. We got all our podcasts on the Spreaker app. Look for Giveaway Sports Media. And you get in contact with me or my partner in crime, Brandon, email us at giveawaysports2, that's the number 2, at gmail.com.
All right. Now, Aries, I'm not playing, man. You know, I'm opening the door for you. Come on through. We need to talk to you before the season is over because you probably won't be in the playoffs. So, I just want to throw that.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. If you want to clap back at your boy Ben Q, hit me up on Twitter at TeamBoydTV. Of course, you can find me doing TeamBoydTV things on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, all that cool stuff. Again, I want to thank everybody who come out to check us out every week. I definitely appreciate it. Big shouts out to your boy Saints Uptown. He did hit me up on Twitter. I wanted to make sure I got him a shout out for him. Shout out to Aries Falcon, Anwar, T Money, and the whole crew. Until next week, man, y'all take it easy. We up out of here. Peace.